So, how is life now with where you've got in the world and in the boxing world specifically? Is life good?
Um, it's all right. It's not where I want to be at the moment. I'm just I got a goal. I have, I put out a hit list a couple months ago, and the first guy on my hit list was, you know, I had not in order, I had a hit list of guys that I wanted until I retire. And it's crazy because the last I think was like the last guy I put on the list, I actually got him first. So it's Hamzah Sheeraz, who we gonna be fighting July 12th, and that's just the start of it, But I'm happy, I'm excited, and like I said, I'm not as happy because I wanna conquer the world, I wanna conquer my division, and I wanna just become a superstar in the sport.
But you have got a level of stardom now, obviously. And, I see the stuff on social media, like nice cars and jewelry and all that kind of stuff. Did you think that you would get to this point in your life? Like confidently?
Um, Yeah, but then no, because I trust in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I always know, like it's His, I'm following His plan, So whatever He wanted, whatever the universe aligns for my future, I just, like one thing about me is just I live my day day by day, you know, and I knew, but in my head I knew like where I wanted to go, but you know how sometimes in life, you have a how can you what's that word? Like damn, bumps I could say on the road, but yeah, it's amazing, man, how I came from literally nothing, and you know now I'm somebody, so it's definitely a blessing.
Did you think that boxing was always going to be the ticket to that life?
My dad always told me when I was a kid, yeah. That's why my dad has a lot to do with my career, a lot because that's why I don't like to always say me, 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 me. I say we because if I'm saying me, then I'm being selfish. I got a team, and I got a team that sacrifices just as much as I do, even though I got to go in the ring at the end of the day and take those punches. But, I got people on my team that sacrifices, their life and, with their family and stuff, and, you know, yeah, man, my dad pretty much like, put the seed in the ground and, and saw it blossom, what I'm saying? And so saw me, just become who I am today. It's crazy because, the life that, that I grew up in and, the life that, I was living in shelter homes and projects and my dad going away to prison for a lot of years and stuff. And I didn't really know if I was going to make it or not, but, it's God's plan at the end of the day.
Was your mum around?
Oh yeah, my mom is always around. She's just, she's just on the side, but my mom has always been around. My mom has a lot to do with it too, because if you really think about it, all the years that that my dad was in prison, who took care of me was my mom. My mom made sure that, we was going to school, I was going to the gym, and that was just my life. It was gym, it was school, gym, school, gym, school, gym, school, gym. It didn't matter. She just wanted me to, she didn't know my mom didn't know I was gonna be this big. She just wanted me to just be in something where I could be active and not in the streets, because in New York and where I'm from, it's easy to get sidetracked and to go into the streets and just start doing bad things. So she was just happy enough that knowing that from school I was going to the boxing gym and from the boxing gym I was going back home to do my homework, sleep, eat, take a shower, and go right back to bed and start the thing all over. It was like a cycle. So, my mom had definitely has a lot to do with it too. I can't never forget about my mom. If my mom wasn't with me and keeping us, in line and keeping us disciplined, when my dad was away, yeah, it would have been a bad story for sure.
Did she work?
Yeah, she actually worked two jobs. That was the thing too. When my dad went away, she started working two jobs. I was a kid though. I was a newborn when my dad went away for 7 years in prison. So we moved. We had to move back to the projects and stuff with my grandma and stuff. And then my mom had to work two jobs. She was working two jobs for a lot of years. And then when she was working those two jobs, my older sister would take care of me. She was like my mom. My older sister was like my mother. because my mom, we barely saw my mom, barely. It was like she was working two jobs to pay bills, to feed us. You know, she'll wake up at 5 a.m., get out of work at 3 p.m., and then from 4 p.m., she's working all the way to 12 o'clock at night, and then she's running home to sleep 3 hours, 4 hours to do the same thing Monday through. So it was tough.
What did your dad do to go to prison?
Just doing bad things. He was just back in the day, he wasn't a good guy. He was, in the streets and stuff. So, he they punished him for that. I don't really want to speak about it. But it's all over. You go. I mean, I could speak about it because we already spoke about it with ESPN and stuff. He when like when I was a newborn and stuff, he caught two attempted murders. When I was a newborn, I was like 2 weeks old and stuff. So he went away for 7 years, and I didn't even I wasn't even raised with my dad from newborn to like almost 8 years old. So and that's so important to have your kid around those ages because you could mold them. And I feel like not me being a father, me, having my son is 3. The stuff that I'm doing with my son, I didn't have that with my dad. You know what I'm saying? And it's so important because between the ages, they say like a 2 to like 6 or something, is like when you start really like molding a kid's brain into somebody, and I'm like, damn, like if I just imagine if I'd have my dad at those ages, I probably would have been even more of a bigger star or something.
Did you nearly go down that route, or did boxing prevent you from going down a different route?
Yeah, that boxing definitely saved me. Yeah, I think boxing definitely saved me for sure. Just cause of simple fact that in New York it's easily to get sidetracked. I feel like New York is just so crazy, and where we come from, from the ghetto, is like it's easily to get influenced by a lot of people out there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just all you see. Um, so yeah, that boxing definitely saved my life. And I just thank God, that I'm in this deep how deep I am into boxing and how big of a star I became because I always knew I was gonna be destined for greatness though. I just didn't know what. I knew I always had something like that it factor since I was a kid. And I never really knew what it was, but I knew I had something. And a lot of people used to tell me I had a gift, like just my presence was strong and stuff. And just me come walking into a room, I always lit the room up, since a baby. So, I knew I was gonna be somebody, but I just didn't know what. But like you said, yeah, it's New York is super easily to get sidetracked. There's so much going on over there.
Did Felix Trinidad have that it factor?
Oh, super, super, super. At 2 years old, at 3 years old, when Trinidad lost to Hopkins, to Bernard Hopkins, I had the tape, and I used to put in my DVR. When I was a kid, bro, I was like 4 or 5 years old. I used to put in the DVR, and I used to rewatch the fight. And when he got knocked down and stuff, and he lost, I used to cry. And my mom wanted to burn the DVR because she's like, "Yo, you're not gonna keep fucking putting on the DVR. You're gonna keep putting it on. The DVRs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You put it inside, and the tape. I got the tape, and I'll throw it inside. I watch him lose, and I start crying, and it was just over and over. Like just I watch it start. I start crying. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw it out because you keep fucking like you keep putting the tape inside the DVR, and you keep crying." And then she wound up taking it away from me because I kept doing it, like always doing it and crying and stuff. I used to watch him and cry, but he had a big hit factor because my family, was real like Puerto Rican from like my whole family's Puerto Rican, but you got the New York Ricans and then you got people that was born in Puerto Rico, you know. Then you got the people that was like born in Puerto Rico. You got Chris' number.
Yeah, I'm
You
still
got
here.
Chris' number.
I'm still
You can
here.
see
I'm
me.
still here. Yeah, yeah, I've got you.
Um, um, yeah. So we had like a big we had a big impact. My family had a big impact on boxing, and being Puerto Rican. So they used to always like, especially my grandma, she'll always like when Trinidad fought, she'll always get all her old friends together, in the house, packed up with Coors Light. beer cans, they'll cook, you know. And I'm 2 years old watching him fight when he fought Fernando Vargas, when he fought I think too when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, when he fought Bernard Hopkins. I
Yeah.
seen that too. It was crazy. Yeah. It was definitely like a dope. It was dope growing up and watching, and then all of a sudden I'm boxing. But I've always was a kid that I always liked working out. You know what I'm saying? I always like being active. You know, I was always fighting, like in the projects outside with the younger kids and stuff. So I feel like it was built inside me.
I was actually at Trinidad Hopkins. I was there in Madison Square Garden.
Oof. Yo, that right there, oh man, that's the most legendary walk I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was
Like
crazy.
even watching it now, I still watch it. Like I still go on YouTube and I still put in the Tito Trinidad entrance when he fought Bernard Hopkins on YouTube. I love watching that. That's my goal, to fight at the big arena in Madison Square Garden, do the same thing. Like if we fight Mungia, I want to do the same thing. Like it has to be like that. I think I have the same hit factor, but yeah, Trinidad is definitely a big influence in my life
So,
as a fighter.
growing up in Brooklyn, then, were you influenced by Tyson, Riddick Bowe, and that? Were like, do people talk about those guys, or the other the Brooklyn guys, as opposed to the Puerto Rican guys?
Yeah, of course, because when I started boxing, I was boxing in Brooklyn. I didn't go to like a barrio. I didn't go to Harlem. I started boxing in Brooklyn with the brothers. With the black people and stuff. So my influence is a lot of different. Is a lot of differences. Because you got me watching Trinidad, but then when I started boxing, I was boxing in Brooklyn. And I was around a lot of black kids. In Starrett City. Starrett City was a boxing gym where Zab Judah trained, Danny Jacobs, Louis Collazo, Curtis Stevens, um, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Saddam Ali. The list goes on, bro. These Brooklyn fighters, and I grew up with them, in the gym. So it's dope. It's super dope. That I had to experience that as a fighter. And then eventually I started loving Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he's from Brooklyn. He's from Bronzeville. He was gritty. I was born in Brooklyn. My hospital is White Cove Hospital. So that's around Bushwick area and stuff. So I have a big influence on Brooklyn. I walk with Brooklyn. I'm prideful about that. I talk about it because I was born there, and I was raised there too. So I just it's crazy. Like I speak about it, but I speak about I'm from New York, the whole New York City, man, because I done lived in the Bronx when I was in the shelter in Hunts Point. I lived in Webster Project for almost 3 years. You know, my mom moved to Lower East Side to Baruch houses. My family lived in Douglas Projects uptown. Like it's like probably like on 100th Street in Columbus. They lived in Douglas Projects for my family. For my mom's side, I lived there for about 50 years. My grandmother, my grandfather, my aunt, my uncles. Like so, I'm like basically pretty much. I feel like I'm from everywhere.
Did you hate the shelters? Did you hate that life?
I love. I was a kid, so I didn't really understand it. I didn't really know. I thought everything was cool. I didn't really, it was bad, bro. The walks we had to take to the train, we had to walk like almost 45 minutes to an hour to the train station, especially when it used to be like snowstorms. We used to be bundled up with our coats on because I was in the Bronx, but I had my school in Manhattan. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And then we had to do the school in Manhattan because my grandmother lived like 2 minutes away from the school. So from the Bronx, from the shelter, we'll walk almost an hour to the train, jump on the train, take two trains, boom, get to New York. Get to Manhattan, go to school, and then my grandmother come and pick us up from schools because she lived only 2 hours. Cause my mom would work. My mom will always be working two jobs. You know, but the shelter, it's crazy because the shelter, they robbed us. They robbed us. They robbed us when we wasn't inside the house. Thank God. They took everything from us. Um, the shelter was crazy. There was a lot of shootouts, like literally right in front of my building. I saw two of them, like in plain sight. Like I woke up, I heard the shots. I woke up, I looked, I started watching it out the video, just watching everything, like bang, bang, them like shooting at each other
anyone
and stuff. My
die?
mom grabbed me, boom, huh?
Did people die?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I know that I was like shatters, like cars. They was just going back like shootouts, like crazy stuff, bro. I was young. I was like 6, 7 years old, and yeah. But for me, the shelter was like dope because like when summertime came, they had the summer camp. So like we used to like go like away, like they used to have like camps and stuff for the kids. So we'll go like to like Bear Mountain, we'll go to water parks and stuff. With all the kids from the shelters, they'll take us on a bus and they'll just take us everywhere. So it was pretty dope.
Tell me, obviously you've seen quite a lot of the professional political boxing landscape. How much love for the sport did you have as an amateur?
I love boxing, bro. I'm kind of scared when I retire because boxing is all I know. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is something that I've been doing since I was 7 years old. Um, and me being retired, I'm gonna probably have to find something, definitely to cover that. You know what I'm saying? To go in and basically fulfill me because boxing fulfills me with everything. When I'm angry, when I'm sad, I've done been through so much with boxing, bro, that I just love the sport. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. I love it. When I just pulled up to the gym now and I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I love being in the gym. I love the environment. That's why I make my money. That's why I feed my family. That's where my life changed was in that boxing gym. It wasn't me wearing chains or me trying to act like some. No, it was me being in that gym, putting in that work. It changed my life. So I be thinking like, damn, 5, 6 years down the line, like, what am I gonna do? I gotta start at least planting a seed in something that when I'm ready to retire in 6 years and 5 years, I'm 20, about to be 28. In 5 years, by the time I'm 33, I want to leave. I gotta find something. Because a lot of fighters they lose their mind. They start becoming alcoholics. They start, being drug addicts. Not saying that's something I'll do, but it happens. What I'm saying, because of the stress, because they don't live that life no more. They don't have that stardom. They don't, because when you retire, everything slows down. You're not fighting no more. You don't have 20,000 people in front of you watching you fight. You don't have the same people that was on top. And you like it's different. So definitely, I'm starting like to like look at my second love. What I'm like passionate about. And I see. Yeah.
And what do you think you'll miss most then? You sort of alluded to the discipline and the structure, but also the buzz of fight night, I guess, right?
I'm definitely gonna miss the discipline for sure. I'll definitely miss the discipline because being in camp is hard, but it's dope how you could be away for 3, 4 months just training, waking up, eating right, like just bang, 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 bang. So that's something with me that I know like that if I need to get something done, I know how to do it. So that's why I think boxing, because boxing taught me a lot on discipline and being focused. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know for sure one thing I'll miss with boxing is just fighting in front of a crowd of people. That's something that you can't. Money can't. You can't buy that right there. Like you gotta be you. You gotta be that guy that have 16,000, 17,000 people and fight in front of them, and that's something I'm gonna miss. Like when that day comes, it's like damn. Like it's look at Floyd. Floyd is not Floyd. You think Floyd is boxing because he needs money? Floyd got money. He's boxing because it's hard to get away from the sport, man. Like that's why you see all these older men like going in there and getting it on, with these exhibitions because it's hard, bro. It's hard to get away from boxing. These guys been doing it for so long since they was kids.
So tell me about your knockout run when you turned over into the pros. Was there like an increasing pressure on you as you went up the ladder and started fighting guys to keep chinning these guys early doors? Like, did you feel the pressure every time you fought?
Yeah, I feel like, but I needed those rounds. I got the first round knockout, and it blew me up. It made me into a very, very, very known fighter. Nobody. Yo, listen, right now I got 17 first round knockouts. Name any Puerto Rican fighter in Puerto Rican history that has 17 first round knockouts. Nobody. Me. I'm a legend. You know what I mean? I'm a legend. So people could get angry and say, "Oh, this guy's feeling himself." But when sorry about that, because I have people calling me. I'm declining the call right now. when you talk about, being a legend, I'm just saying being a legend in that sense, when like I'm already a legend, when it's all said and done. You call Pablo, Brody, tell him that I'm on Zoom. I'm already a legend when it's when it comes to that, when it comes to first round knockouts, you know what I'm saying? In that sense.
Did it change you as a fighter? Did you become too reliant on that power, and did you go looking for it more, and like you said, you kind of needed rounds?
Nah, nah, nah. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. I take it how it came. I got the first round knockouts out the way, and then I started getting those rounds, and I needed those rounds. I feel like if I didn't get those rounds, then I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't have been ready for Canelo. Because how can I go those? How can I knock people out? But I never been into the 12th, 11th round. And I did that already. So I'm like, I bet, like, let's get it. Like I got those rounds and I got the experience.
How has life changed for you since Canelo?
It's cool, just money. Now I'm making a lot more money. But it comes with it. I think people be hating on me, saying, "Oh, yo," they see me, I'm opening up all these businesses. Oh yeah, that's Canelo money. Like, bro, get off my shit, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, at least I'm doing something good with the money, right? First, I was saying I was gonna go broke. Oh, this kid's gonna go broke. He's buying jewelry. Now I'm buying businesses. Oh, look, that's Canelo's money. If it wasn't for Canelo, you wouldn't be getting it. Like, yo, man, like that's why you can't even pay attention to nobody. Cause it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. They always gonna hate. They always gonna have something to say. But my life been pretty good. It's gonna be better. I think that after this fight, July 12th is a new star is gonna be born. And then the rematch with Canelo, that fight is for the WBC eliminator, to get another shot at Canelo. And if Canelo, he's the king right now at 168. So he wants to run it back, in 2026 we could do that.
You kind of hit the nail on the head there about you can't please all the people all the time, because the same people that said that you were going to get wiped out with by Canelo are now mad at you for being content that you went the distance with him. You're like, well, you thought I was going to get knocked out, and I've lasted the distance with him, so you did better than they thought they said you were going to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's how, yeah. But like, but you need those people. I'm starting to learn how to just love these type of people. You know what I'm saying? Going in, just love them. Because they make you more famous. Yo, what makes you more famous? People that love you or people that hate you? People that hate you make you more famous in our industry, like in the realm of being a celebrity, whether you're a rapper, a basketball player, boxer, soccer. The hate makes you more famous. You really think about, look at Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is one of the he's for me he's the greatest fighter in my book. He's the greatest fighter ever. He made the most money and he fought legends. He's the greatest fighter in my book. He had the most hate. You know how many people when I was growing up wanted Floyd to lose? Oh my God, they betting the house. They was betting their house. Their house. They was betting their house where they lived, betting that he was gonna lose. And he didn't lose. So I'm like, yo, man, like now I'm in that situation. I'm like, oh, I feel like him now. So I'm like, oh, I gotta just learn how to love it. Cause at the end of the day, those same people that talk shit, that yap away, they gonna buy tickets. They're gonna turn on that paper. They're gonna put on that pay-per-view. They're gonna show that they hate me. And then it's my job to make them love me. That's what Floyd did. Floyd made everybody hate him, and then everybody loves Floyd. You got here and there people that hate him, but a lot of people love him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people respect him. And that's something I love now. I love doing that. I love grabbing somebody that hates me or just hating on me or just envy, and I just make them and I turn them into lovers.
Are the critics motivation as well? Like when you're training, when you're in the gym, and is that something that goes through your mind? Like, damn, I'm gonna prove, I'm gonna.
Yeah, 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 hell yeah. Because like days like in the gym when I'm tired or when I'm like fucked up and I'm tired in the gym and my coach starts talking about that, like, oh, what happened? You got these people that want to see you lose, and and they're gonna embarrass you if you lose this fight, and it just sparks something else in me.
So, are you excited to be in this popping 168-pound division now with Christian and Billy, Diego Pacheco, Munguia and Sirachi fighting? You got your buddy Caleb Plant. Like, it's a great mix to be in, right? Of personalities and fighters.
for sure. I'm ready for it. I mean, right now, is the I feel like it's one of the best divisions. It's one of the best divisions right now, 168. So it's dope.
Tell me, Mobili, what do you think of Christian Mobili?
He's all right. He's all right. We'll knock
Pacheco?
him out. He
Pacheco?
trash.
What about
So
Munguia?
lengthy, he's trash. Mungia's good. I think Mungia got his knocked out his last fight. It was for me, I'm gonna be honest, bro. That guy, I think Mungia didn't take him serious at all. That guy only got like four knockouts or something. I swear to God, I don't think he took that guy serious. I don't think he went in there and did what he had to do, you know?
What about Caleb Plant?
Caleb Plant is trash. Not listen, man, I'm talking, I'm just trolling, but these guys are actually good. Caleb Plant is good, he's a good fighter, but in my book, like because I know he's gonna fight me, he's fucking trash.
How good is Hamzah Sheeraz? Did you watch his fight with Carlos Adames?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I think that he's basic. I think he just has a good jab, and he's gonna look to survive with me. I don't think he's gonna come in there and try to win. He's gonna go out there and try to look to. If he comes trying to win a fight, he's gonna get knocked out. Either way, even if he tries to fight, he's gonna get knocked out. But he'll get knocked out faster trying to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? And once he starts feeling these hands on him, the fight's gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Once he feels the jab touching him, boom, the fight's gonna change. It's my job to go in there and just break him down.
Do you feel you're in your prime now, or are you a year or two from your prime, or is this prime
Like
Berlanga?
a year. I say like a year. I say like another year. I say by the middle of 2026.
I was speaking to your buddy Naji Lopez the other day. He was saying some good things about you. What do you think about Naji Lopez and where he's going to go in his career?
Yeah, right now I just pull up to the gym, so I'm about to pull up on my bros. You got Naji Lopez, you got the Ralph Saint, and then you got Erickson Lubin. These guys, these young kids, bro, they and I no Lubin is my age, but the other two guys, they pushing us. You know what I'm saying? They definitely pushing us in that gym, and everything we do, they pushing us heavy. So I'm excited.
And tell me, I know I spoke to Bridget about this, but tell me about the Christian Rivera Foundation and how you got involved with it.
The Christian Rivera Foundation is a guy named John Rivera. He's the CEO. That's my father's best friend. Actually, remember I told you my dad called the when he had that case. It was actually in John Rivera's club, so they was in the same lawsuit together. And fast forward 27 years or 25 years after that, I started working with the Christian Rivera Foundation. John Rivera is the Christian Rivera Foundation is kids that's suffering from DIPG. It's kids that's dying with brain tumors. They're having tumors in their brain, and these kids are going. They're 3 years old, 4 years old. And they just going quick. And we're looking for the cure. And John Rivera started the foundation because his son actually died from DIPG from the same tumor. And so that's why he started the foundation. And now all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of kids in worldwide that's suffering from this. And there's no cure for it, but we've been putting a lot of money behind it to look for the cure and save these kids. There's a couple kids that's been saved, you know, due to our foundation, but a lot of kids haven't made it. They're going in a month, 2 months, 3 months max, 4 months max, like that. Like it's just they just go. So and I fell in love with the foundation because it was something I had to do with the kids, but also there was a young girl named Jessica Silva, may her rest in peace. She was a two-time Olympic gold medalist, junior Olympic gold medalist, and she wound up dying last year. So when I found out she was involved with the foundation, it touched me, and I was like, oh, okay, this is serious, now as a boxer, and when I seen that, that's what really drive me into wanting to work with the foundation. What I'm saying? Because when she caught the brain tumor, I had gift her an award after one of my victories in 2022. So
Wow, so it's a fulfilling thing, but it's going to be even more fulfilling if you find the cure.
yeah, for sure, 1,000%.
Yeah. And tell me, what do you? Oh, and by the way, you said there about the nightclub. Oh, or a club. Was it a nightclub? Is that what you're referring to? You said the club.
Yeah, yeah, the nightclub. Yeah, yeah. That was John Rivera, the CEO of Christian Rivera. That was his club.
Got
You know,
you.
so it's weird how life works, right? Like how they was in something negative together, and then fast forward 25 years, now I'm working with the foundation with these kids, and is actually my dad's best friend.
What do you want to achieve from boxing when it's all said and done? Like, what is it about? And obviously, I mean, when you talk about stuff like that, like there's a bigger picture beyond boxing. But like, what do you want to achieve in your life, and what's boxing going to allow you to achieve?
Um, just becoming a legend. I want my name to reign in boxing for forever. I want people to talk about me. When they talk about Berlanga, they're gonna always talk about me like, yo, Berlanga, Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, these guys, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Andre Ward. I want my name to be in that mix. And that's my goal.
What's on the boxing bucket list? What do you need to achieve? You mentioned the big room in Madison Square Garden. What else? What else? What other boxes do you want to tick?
What you said?
What else is on the boxing bucket list? You mentioned fighting in the big room in Madison Square Garden. What else do you want to do in that respect? But before you retire, are there any sort of venues and places?
Bar- Barclays Center. I would love to fight at the Barclays Center. Barclays Center is dope. I think I need to fight there. Is in Brooklyn. Um, I fought at the T-Mobile already twice. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just the Barclays Center that's left. I feel like it's just that one right there.
Say you've already fought Canelo. Is there a dream fight that you want more than anything else? I know you mentioned Munguia. I've said about Plant. Is there a fight that you really want to tick off before it's all said and done?
Say it again.
Is there a fight that you really want to tick off before it's all said and done? I know we said about the Canelo rematch, but in terms of guys you've not fought
I
yet,
want to fight heavyweight. I want to fight heavyweight, two fights.
okay. Are you going to fight different classes on the way up? Are you going to go light heavyweight and cruiserweight?
I don't know, depending, but I don't know, but I want to fight heavyweight for sure.
Why is that? Why heavyweight? That's a huge jump.
Because I got the power, and I think I'm gonna be a lot much stronger at heavyweight. So I want to tell. It's for fun, It's something that I just want to accomplish. I mean, shit. A lot of guys that fought at like middleweight, super middleweights fought at heavyweight from back in the days. Didn't wasn't Roy Jones fighting heavyweight or something or cruiserweight?
Yeah, Roy Jones went up and won the WBA heavyweight title against John Ruiz.
Yeah, so I'm saying, so he could do it, why I can't do it? James Tony didn't James Tony do it?
Yeah, James Toney went up to heavyweight as well. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, come on, bro. And these guys was at 160.
So you could be fighting someone like an Usyk then, or a Joshua or someone like that.
Yeah, these guys, so that's the problem though. Like in this generation, these guys are 6'8", 7 feet almost. Back in the days, the biggest heavyweight was 6'2". It was my height. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Does that change things then? Does
That
does
was
that, does that change things then? Are you maybe not going to fight one of the 7 foot guys like a Tyson Fury 6'9"?
Yeah, hell yeah. But I don't give a fuck. I hit hard, so
All right, man. Well, look, thank you very much for making the time to do it. Say
all
hi
right,
to
thank you.
Naji and the guys in the gym. And yeah,
All right, I got you.
thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, brother.
All right, thanks.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right, thanks, Bridget. Thank you. Bye bye.